You are listening to the BlahCade Pinball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Freebus, a.k.a. Shut Your Trap. Joining me, as always, halfway across the world, bright and shiny early morning for him, Jared Morgan.
Hello there. Somewhat early morning. My alarm clocks, namely my two children, didn't wake me up this morning. So this is, for those of you watching the video, this is me with 5 minutes after waking up from sleep. So
well, that means you're extra frosty. You know, you've got a brain just full of information to spout forward.
Full of things, yes, and I'm full of things. Some may even be interesting.
This is what drives my wife mad, because I wouldn't say I'm not going to say I'm a morning person, but I'm one of those people that has no problem. Like, once I'm up, I'm up. It's not an issue.
Yeah.
Whereas she is very much needs an hour and a half
to spin up.
Yes. And it's one of those things where my alarm goes off and I'm like, foop, sitting up, walk right out of bed, gone. Right. I don't do any of the lingering about, hitting the snooze bar.
Oh,
no, that's not that for me.
No, I don't do that either. No,
I get in trouble if I do that.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Commentary. Yes.
Oh, commentary.
She does have a point there. I can't stay up past 11 o'clock very well. I pretty much always am falling asleep watching a movie, as I did last night. So
right. Okay. Fair enough. Fair call.
And that's despite the time change. It doesn't matter that we have the time change, which technically means I should have not fallen asleep until midnight. 12. No, it's just my body knows. Oh, what? It's that time. That's what the clock says. Time to go. You're out.
I'm gonna go sleep.
Exactly. Exactly. So we're gonna get right into. We've got all sorts of stuff to talk about today. The majority of it predominantly being about Zen, and the Williams Pinball Volume 3. I went and did a deep dive on some old Zen stuff, but before any of that, let's do a little bit of correction or response, however you want. I don't think it's necessarily correction. I think it's clarification, if you will.
Yes.
Regarding Magic Pixel and the yanking of Zachariah Pinball off of Google.
Yeah, that's right. So I was working late on some stuff last one night, and it must have been my Steam chat was open, and a friend of the show, Mart, came onto it and started having a chat with me about it. And it was really good for him to jump on. He heard the podcast and being the community manager, wanted to respond. So I'm grateful that he actually reached out. So he provided on Facebook, if you followed the Magic Pixel Facebook account, he provided some information on there in response to somebody's post about delisting the Android app. And he actually repeated it for me. So I didn't have to go chasing the Facebook post, which is nice. So from the Facebook post, this is what Mark responded to this person after their comment. So he said, sadly, we did not ask as well for our app to be removed. This was a decision made by Google. There is also no way to update an app when it is removed. We would have to create a new app for that. And there's a bit more that comes with the app than just replacing the black glass. The Google terms have changed since then, and so are the requirements for the app. This would require an overhaul rather than a simple fix. So in addition to that, he said the manager is still trying to figure out a way to compensate players who purchase something in the old app. If we do find something, then we will announce that here on Facebook. So that's a bit of an update. It looks like that it's not just as simple as changing out the back glass and then uploading it. It's probably something to do with the way the app is actually made and the way that they actually need to then like update libraries and all that sort of stuff in the app.
It makes me kind of think about, if you do if you're a homeowner and you had done any kind of construction on your home or whatever, you had to or whatever that required permits, right? You had to deal with those permits at the time, right? Now let's say it's 20 years later and you go to do something else and however your thing was done back then isn't up to code today. So
And you
God
gotta change
forbid
it.
if you fix anything, because now you got to bring everything up to code. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that
exactly
sounds
right.
like that's what is happening with their app, that it was fine
Yep.
for Google back then, but now since Google has changed terms, you don't just get grandfathered in, you actually got to update
You
and
got to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably things like API levels and stuff like that that they often have to. That Farsight always had a problem with on Android, like catering for the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
And I think their engine for that app was actually that good that there was a lot of legacy devices that were still able to run it. It was a very efficient engine, so I think that's probably got something to do with it as well. So I'm happy to actually hear that it's a little bit, well, happy and sad that of course it had to get removed and not uploaded again, but there's a lot more context now, and it sort of paints a different picture of the situation for them. So
right. It's easy for us to comment and speculate and throw out the whys and whatnots when we don't have to deal with any of the contracts.
And dealing with Google, which a lot of developers tell me or have written many a Medium article about just how terrible it is when your app gets taken down. Like there's no recourse. It's just like, well, it's down and too bad. See you later. Yeah, frustrating. Apple's very different in that way. If they do delist your app, you get notified about it, and they essentially talk to you about it. But basically, Google are just like robots, and they just automate the whole process, and you can't talk to anyone about it. Right. So it's just terrible.
All right, so there we have. We wanted to make sure that we got that in at the top rather than making you people wait all the way to the end because they didn't know what they were waiting for. So there you go.
No, they don't. They have no idea.
Okay, so something that people have been waiting for has been Zen's newest release, which will be the Williams Pinball Volume 3. For the record, what we were talking about today is our impressions of the Steam version of Williams Pinball 3. We got early access to this. We did not get early access yet to the mobile. So we'll be just like all of you, seeing it for the first time when it's released to the public. That'll probably be what we talk about next week. So everything that we're talking about today regarding Williams Pinball Volume 3 is what is the Steam version of things.
Yeah, and as you say, Chris, it is the press early access version of it. Yeah. Which means that anything we say in this this commentary may very well change, as far as things that we've identified that are strange or somewhat odd.
Yeah, we didn't get to do a beta this go around.
No.
And it's kind of unfortunate because Leave It to Pinball Wiz 45B, he's already found a couple of things. So they're minor, and that's the funny thing. Any of the problems that we're finding, they're minor. I mean,
the edge case minor stuff. They're not like wholesale problems like, oh, there's textures missing.
No.
Or there's like, oh, everything is the wrong color.
Right.
Or, that sort of stuff.
It's more of an issue of like, hey, the game board of not Scared Stiff. That's not it here. I was thinking SC and then immediately went Scared. Safecracker. Candy's insert light is supposed to be yellow while the dog's insert light is supposed to be red. I mean, it's that kind of.
Oh, geez. I wouldn't even pick that.
Oh, you kidding me?
No. No.
I always say I pick on things that are related to lighting. And when I say lighting, not what lights are lighting up, the visuals of what the lighting is doing. So, what is it illuminating? Let's talk about that way. I focus in on that kind of stuff. I focus in on certain graphical details, mainly regarding the models that are on the machine itself. I don't pick up on, hey, the sound is 2 milliseconds slow from when it should be firing, or
I do.
See, you do, and that's why I'm saying it's.
I play everything with headphones. So it's really good that we actually have these different focal points because it means that this is the same for any sort of open beta, because you get all these people who have an affinity with a certain aspect of the game, and that's how you get the really targeted feedback.
Right.
So it's good that we look at different things when we actually play these things.
So I'm going to give a sweeping general statement, and then we'll start going into our impressions of each and every one of the 3 releases.
And I will see if I agree with your sweeping general statement.
Sweeping general statement. For those of you that are wondering, do I really need to buy this when I already have these 3 tables on Pinball Arcade? Yes.
Yes. Yes. You do?
And
100%? Yes.
You do. And while the visuals are... Look, they tip... In my mind, they tip heavily in Zen's favor. But it's not like the visuals were utter junk on Pinball Arcade. However, on 2 of these tables, specifically on Theater of Magic and on Champion Pub, the physics are deal breakers.
Yeah.
When you play Zen and then go and try and play Pinball Arcade. And then there's something that I noticed this go around, specifically with Safecracker, regarding the sound. So these are all, and the sound is vastly improved. So these are some things that we're going to touch upon. But first off, let's just give kind of overall general thoughts. Let's start with the big one, Theater of Magic.
Theater of Magic, the one that was season 1 in Pinball Arcade.
Not just season 1. This was
the first table
starter pack. The first 4 tables that they released, which were Theater of Magic, Black Hole, Tales of the Arabian Night, and Ripley's Believe It or Not.
And boy, did we ever see that it was like that.
Look, so, if you're able to track down a side-by-side image of the 2 tables, one of the things you'll notice right away is that the scale and placement of certain, like the Tiger Saw, the launch ramp, they're not scaled properly in Pinball Arcade. And here they're now correctly placed. They're correctly the size that they need to be, and where they, in relation to the angle view that you're looking at. That's noticeable thing number 1. Noticeable thing number 2, look down at the various magic illusions that you're trying to light. And now
they are.
You can read them clear as a bell. But the other weird thing, and I don't know if it's that I'm just completely used to this in Pinball Arcade, or that I think I've seen it this way also on tables out in the wild, but I could clearly see the rectangular insert plastic that then the decal was put over the top of for the illusions. So I fire up Zen's, and there's no rectangle at all. It's just the name of the illusion, and when it lights, it's only the light that is, or only the name that is illuminating. So I went, whoa, did Zen pull a little, extra magic on that? Because it was both in the enhanced and in the standard version of the table. So then I looked up the table on ipdb.org. Internet Pinball Database. And I looked at the photos there, and sure enough, you're not seeing the square, the insert square. You're just seeing the text. So I don't know if it's one of those things that the machines I've played have been worn, or there was a different versions of it out there in the wild, or what. But all I gotta say is Zen did a fantastic job, because these are totally legible. You can read all the inserts.
There's zero problems with understanding what one you're going for now, which is kind of important when you're actually shooting for certain things in that game.
Sometimes. The other thing that I noticed with it is that the back mirror. So clear. Very clear. Works quite wonderfully. Now, there was a while where on Pinball Arcade, the mirror was gone. It bugged out. I just checked it when I was comparing the 2, and it's back. So they did get that up and running again.
That's good.
But there was it was out of commission for, I want to say, a solid year, where there was no mirror.
And I think on mobile, it was just cut out from the low level of detail version, because for a while on Android, I think the first 2 seasons going into the 3rd, we had all of the low level of detail, or low LOD models in the game. And the thing, like Black Hole, was missing half of its plastics basically. And Theater of Magic, there was so much detail missing from it, like you wouldn't believe. So the mirror adding extra complexity to the processing, like reversing the image and everything, that was gone from the low LOD version. So when we got the high LOD version, we just went, wow, okay, there's so much stuff missing from the old version. Yeah.
Beyond that, visually, I mean, honestly, Farsight did not do a bad job at all with Theater Magic, and they kind of tweaked the lighting a little bit recently. When I say recently, in the past 2 years, they've gone back and done a little bit of things. They've done a retune on it from when it was originally released. That being said, the physics of Zens are phenomenal. Like, you can actually feel and control the ball now. And your shots, my big test, my first test that I did was trying to shoot the right orbit, because that was always really tricky to do from a caught ball in Pinball Arcade. And got it, shot it, nailed it. And I was just like, thank you. Now, this is good. You
can do the clock. You can actually build up Midnight Madness.
Yeah. Exactly. The other thing that you'll notice real quickly is that, and this is kind of, again, goes towards the physics in general that are in Pinball Arcade. The ball, when it starts rolling towards your flipper, it rolls at a constant speed. And it'll be kind of slow. Like if the ball is doing a slow roll, it'll maintain that same slow roll all the way to your flipper. Yeah. In Zen, you get that same slow roll, but you'll noticeably see it accelerate.
Yeah.
As it comes down. And it's just that little, because there's a lot of that midfield floaty of the ball. Because it'll start rocketing between the slingshots for a while. And then suddenly, finally slow, and then drop down. So between the control of the ball and then the nature of the physics with the ball, it completely revolutionizes how that table is played. And my example for that is my first go around and I was playing both the standard Zen version and the arcade version.
Yep.
And it was kind of weird. I wasn't noticing that much of a difference physics-wise between the two. The main difference is how high of an angle the flipper goes. But I did my game, and I think I don't even think I hit 500 million before I was done, right?
Yeah.
I go over to Pinball Arcade just to see a thing or two. Next thing I know, I'm at 2 billion.
2 billion.
It's that whole thing of, and this is what I love about what Zen has been doing. When you see that replay score, that's actually a goal now. It's not just a gimme. Yeah. It's something that you're like, I got to beat the replay score at least.
Yeah, totally. It's not easy to get up to. I have been playing all the 3 games. I've decided just to be playing on the regular mode, not the arcade mode. Right. I did try Safecracker and arcade and quickly realized that was a silly idea, and then went back to the comfort of Zen and actually were able to play the game. So yeah, I've been enjoying. I think I'm conditioned now for the Zen mode because I've been playing it so much on Android, and so yeah, I find it tricky to switch over to the other version.
Yeah,
but I think I did try arcade on Safecracker. We can go into that when we.
Yes, we'll get into that
when we do that separately.
The one thing that was weird also is trying to hit the chest itself, the
revolving case.
The revolving case, yeah. It's tricky now. If you hit the edge, boom, you're balling out. It's not going to go just magically in.
Won't suck in. Yeah, no,
exactly.
You've got to be precise. Yeah. So you can actually you can brick the shot. You
and brick it a lot. You're gonna. Yeah,
exactly. Particularly, I would imagine the advanced physics, the arcade physics.
Yeah,
you'd be like having a hard time shooting that thing right.
And again, that was one of those shots that in the Pinball Arcade version, it was just so easy. It was just second nature. Oh yeah, oh great. I can get those jackpots, no problem.
Yeah, shoot the general direction of the case, and you'll get the shot. Right. Yeah. But it's,
Now,
even with the Zen, like the Zen regular physics, you've still got to aim.
oh yeah,
Like
that's what I'm saying.
It's not a gimme. It's like they haven't actually dialed down the difficulty in their regular game mode. It's you've still got to shoot that thing with an intent to get in the hole.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying. I in the previous 2 volumes, I was able to really sense the difference between Zen mode and arcade mode in terms of how the ball reacted. In this particular volume, I'm not seeing that much of a difference. So it's
kind of seeing it in rules. I think.
Oh, for sure, the rules. Yes,
the rules are the thing that became apparent. We'll talk about more of that in Safecracker's discussion.
Right. So the other important thing to talk about is the enhanced visuals. Of the 3 tables, honestly, I think that Theater of Magic is the weakest.
Yeah.
So what you got is the female magician standing in the middle of the playfield, and she kind of waves her wand, and that's about the extent of what she does until you do certain illusions, and then she might vanish or disappear. But
throw cards around and stuff.
Right. So you've got her there. You've got a top hat on top of the magnet, the spirit ring magnet. And you've got the wand, now a magic wand, on the launch lane. Now, those are all just kind of like, okay, whatever. We kind of know what to expect in terms of what they're going to do for enhancements. The 2 big things that they did, one of which I'm cool with, the other which I'm not. So the cool thing was they made the balls glow at various points in the game.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is cool. Glowing balls, hey, it adds a cool little visual flair. That's all fine and dandy. They made the flipper bats glow also. I don't like this at all.
I don't mind.
The glowing flipper, and I know why I don't like it.
Why?
It reminds me of there were certain tables in Pinball Arcade when they first did dynamic lighting, and you may not have seen much of it, Jared.
No, I don't think
where things would look like they were dipped in toxic waste and were just unnaturally glowing for God knows why. You know, oh, there's a light in vicinity? Sure, make the top of the piece, the plastic glow, but the lights underneath it, it doesn't matter. Make it glow.
Okay.
So the flipper bat is glowing this bright white, and in and of itself, the reason why I kind of don't like it also is it takes away the contrast. It just becomes, this glowy thing. But then now you have a glowing ball coming at it too. And the 2, it makes timing your shots hard because you've just got this massive glow happening. And you don't necessarily see exactly where on the bat the ball is as, to time your flipper shot. That kind of just bugs me. What I wish they had done instead was make the flipper like a clear plastic, and inside of it is, maybe some of those, plasma bolt, the little lightning bolt things, inside of it, or make it the magic pixie dust, glowing inside of it. Or if you didn't even want to go that, you want to just go with a solid flipper bat, put the card classes on there, diamond, spade, club, heart. Or put little white rabbits. I don't know, just something. I guess I just don't understand why the flipper bats are glowing. It doesn't jibe with me on this particular. And I've taken to turning off the enhancements on this table precisely because of that.
Oh wow! So you're going without enhancement wholesale because of
I'm going without enhancements. Yeah.
And the other thing I found was weird with Theater of Magic was that when you go and get Tiger Saw multi-ball, the balls are clear. So they're completely, all you can see is an outline of them.
Oh, see, I haven't activated Tiger Saw multi-ball, so I didn't see that.
Yeah, they're just like clear glass orbs that only have a very faint outline to them. And I've got a feeling it's probably a bug, maybe, because I don't see any reason why you would have a Tiger Saw making the balls clear. It doesn't seem to fit, so I can only assume it's a bug.
It would make sense if you're doing Vanish multi-ball.
Oh, maybe because it is.
I don't know. I did see the Tiger Saw spin.
Vanish.
The Tiger Saw does spin, so yay for that.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe they've gone Vanish because it is make the balls vanish, and you shoot it up there, and then the ball just disappears because it gets caught in that saucer that's hidden behind the Tiger Saw. Maybe that's what they went with the clear balls. Maybe they're vanishing balls. Okay, fair enough.
I'm gonna have to pay attention now, and
I'll pay that, I guess. But it's weird because they're very hard to track. So because all you're seeing is this faint outline of the ball.
I don't know if you ever played the Alien versus Predator table when it goes into camouflage mode, but there's a certain point where your flipper bats go completely clear.
Oh yeah,
it's a treat.
Yeah, it's like the hear me, feel me, see me mode on Tommy, where the big blind goes over the flippers. Yeah, it's crazy. Okay. So yeah, that was interesting. I found that even with the glowing bats and everything, I could still make shots fine. Because I'm sure it won't last for long, but I did trounce your score by about double on there. So I'm fine with the glowy bats.
I wasn't really trying, Jared. I've just been.
Oh yeah, righto.
Yeah. I tried out the 3 challenge modes for all 3 tables.
Yes.
For Theater of Magic, it's going to be you're going to have the same. Your same encounter that you've had on other tables. It's not like it's particularly trying, but you do have to work at it to get the 15 max.
Yeah, it's not a walk in the park.
No. Let's move on then to Champion Pub. Champion Pub, first off, it looks fantastic.
Amazing, yeah.
Where you really notice it is, and I noticed this in the preview video when they showed it, but as you're playing it, you really notice it. It's the rear of the playfield details look great.
Everything's so crisp up there.
Everything is just, the whole table is really crisp. Again, all the inserts are easily legible.
Yes.
Where it really shines, though, is again with the physics. So in Pinball Arcade, there is the right out lane that is the KO punch.
Vacuum.
It was a total vacuum. I mean, just like obnoxiously so. If your ball was going anywhere in that vicinity, just nudge, because it's your only hope, basically.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
In Zen's version, it's reacting just like any other normal out lane. It's not an automatic drain monster.
No, it's not.
Which changes how I approach the table. Interestingly enough. Yeah, because there was certain, especially when you're doing the boxer, I was just trying to make everything go off my right flipper. Because if I did it with the left flipper, there was a chance that it would hit the boxer on a funny angle and then go straight for that out lane.
Oh,
making the old A angle.
Oh, yes.
So I was always just doing everything off the right flipper, to save myself that way. And so now I'm finding that, hey, I'm not even concerned about that out lane so much anymore.
You're smacking around from both sides.
Exactly. So that's a vast improvement. The jump rope.
Oh, that thing. That's totally different and
totally
lot harder.
And
a lot harder.
It's harder, but it's not harder because of a wonky interaction with it. It's just harder because the physics make it harder.
Yeah.
But now you feel like the jump rope is actually knocking your ball out of place and not just like some arbitrary, it was close and that triggered that your ball drops down.
Exactly. That thing was janky as hell in TPA. It just didn't feel right.
And the same thing goes with the speed bag.
Yeah, that thing.
You feel like you're actually rocking the ball and punching the ball.
Yeah. I had no idea that's how it actually should feel. Because I've never really played a Champion Pub before.
Okay.
Compared to Pinball Arcade's version, you're just basically flailing away with the 2 fists up there and hoping that your ball doesn't get out of the area. But now you actually sort of feel like you have some actual control with that thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The other aspect, and this is me, where it comes the lighting.
Oh wow!
Finally, it's correct.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Jeez, it's so correct.
When the boxer turns around, he's properly lit up. The lights up at the jump rope are
properly throwing
lighting
light.
the area, throwing light on
Yeah.
it and stuff. And now when they go off and come back on, it doesn't seem like it's a glitch. It seems like
Yes.
yes, this is coded into the game itself.
Even the uppercut ramps, they even look like they have dimension to them.
Yeah, they don't
like
just look like a green
blob.
piece of who knows what.
Yeah, a green piece of blob. You can actually see the curve to them, and the fact they actually do have a curved surface on them. So it's so different. Like the way that they've done the graphics on it is just superb.
Then there is the enhanced graphics.
I've been playing with nothing other than an enhanced graphics on every table.
And I don't plan to do any other way myself.
Nope.
And it all comes down to them animating the boxer.
That boxer.
Even when the boxer,
good.
even when you're not, when you're just doing the heavy bag, right? And the boxer is there, the boxer will kind of look over his shoulder at you while you're playing and then duck back down. It's really cool. And so then when you do turn him, just the way his arms are moving and everything, it's really, really great animation that they did on him. Yeah. And
it's great animation, but it's still within the limits of the original boxer's movement range.
Right.
So it's still like it will still interact with your ball and knock the ball away, which is what those arms are supposed to do. They're actually supposed to like repel your ball so you couldn't uppercut him.
Right, as he shifts his body, and that'll happen.
Yeah.
My only complaint with that, and it just feels like a missed opportunity, and we've said it before, I really wanted the boxer's face to change.
The boxer's faces, that would have been really good.
It's such a missed opportunity. The other kind of interesting thing, and this is one of those that I don't know it for sure, I'm just, again, used to what happens in Pinball Arcade, is that I'm facing the same boxers in the same order.
Yeah, I think that, I did.
So you start off with the Irishman, and then you get this Santiago guy after that, and I haven't gotten farther than
then you
those
get
two.
Bing Bang Boom, and then you get Steve-O.
But when I was playing, I'm sampling in Pinball Arcade, I was getting different boxers every time.
Including Dan Under, which has made a non-appearance in here. So, yeah, there's no Dan Under. In any game that I've played. In any game that I've played, I have not seen Dan Under yet.
Now, why is that?
I don't know. They hate Australians. I wouldn't blame them. I mean, really.
Interesting.
Yeah, no Dan Under.
How many boxers have you gone through?
Oh, a lot. I've actually played quite a bit on the Champion Pole. Would have gone through about 20 boxes.
Okay.
No Dan Under.
Interesting. No. We're gonna have to make an inquiry about that. I see that Pinball Wiz 45B is in our comments section. So he being the chief organizer of bugs, you got one there. Go add that to your bug list and ask if he's in there or not.
Yeah, that's right.
What else do I want to say about Champion Pub?
Just when you shoot the U-turn ramps, they feel really chunky and really good. Like, it feels like a good shot now when you shoot them. Like it on TPA, it sort of felt they felt really janky when you shot them. Like obviously the physics was having a bit of trouble. The way they implemented the physics for the turnaround didn't really mesh very well.
Okay,
but this actually feels like the ball is traveling up the back of the U-turn and coming out, and sort of it's not the same path that it comes out every time either. Like it will tend, if you shoot it on a certain side, it will actually come back on the other side. It actually has proper physics on it, so they feel good to shoot now. And I'd never really bothered with them because I think they were quite hard to get as well in TPA. I always had trouble getting it. And the other thing that I've noticed too is the main jackpot ramp up to the speedball.
Not as easy as it used to, huh?
That's a big, steep, tall ramp. There's no way you're vacuuming that anymore.
Like, I used to be able to spam that to no end. And
like basically getting those jackpots up to, deluxe jackpot, no problems at all. But now it's like, oh, okay, it's actually coming back down at me again. Yeah, it's nice to actually see that. That was a big complaint with that table.
Yeah.
So having that is great.
Okay. Last table to talk about first impressions on, which is Safe Cracker. Now,
Safe Cracker. Wow.
Jared and I, this table has a soft spot in our hearts. So
yes, yes, I've been playing this a lot. a lot, and I will say I haven't even switched back to regular graphics mode on it. It's all been interactive fully, because this is another table where they've just gone to town with the I think more than Theatre of Magic for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
On it, like they have just really put some fine detail
For
into
me,
this table.
this is the winner of the enhancements. And now, funny enough,
by a very short margin, because that boxer is pretty amazing.
Yes, but where it excels is all the time that you spend up at the game board, which could be a very boring visual experience. Zen has added in the burglar. I thought we'd see the guard. We don't get to see the guard, but we get to see the burglar, and his animations are fantastic.
Yeah,
and really cool to watch.
I see what they mean when they were saying he's very cartoon style oriented. He is. He's got the all I hear when there's certain modes where he's like, when he gets caught, it's like exit stage left, exit stage left, and off he goes out the door. It's wonderful.
Just knowing that Deep is the one that had to do did the motion capture, I'm just picturing him, in a green room wearing a green suit, or with a black suit with tennis balls all over it, doing these movements, and it just cracks me up. So,
yes, it's very funny because it is like. The motion is realistic as well. Like, you could tell that it's been motion captured.
Yeah. If you're playing now, just back on the regular playfield, TNT multi-ball is really cool because there's just explosions happening all over the table.
Yep.
And that's pretty rocking. I like that a lot.
That's awesome.
The only thing about the enhanced that I don't care for is the flipper bats. Again, see, I've got something about the flipper bats this go around. They made them a green.
No,
and
I think that's fine.
They're not offensive to me, but it also just kind of makes me think, I don't know, Monopoly, or just, it's the color of money. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's totally what they're going for there. I
know.
can see exactly why because the return lane plastics are green with money all over them. So it makes
now they have donuts all over them because of that's what TPA or what Zen did was for the enhancements. They put a pile of donuts instead. Yeah.
And sprinkles.
And sprinkles,
it was very good.
It makes me though really wish that we had the ability to customize the enhancements. That let us pick the rubber color, let us pick the flipper bat color, so that if there's anything of that nature that we're just kind of like not cool with, but we love everything else, animation wise. And that's what we're being able to do in the mobile app. So why it's there in the mobile app and not allowed on PC to have full customization? I get that it's a monetary thing or an incentive, but technically, isn't the mobile app? It's a whole different beast than sitting at your home.
Just have a think. Like they're probably using the data they're collecting from the enhancements to what they bring back to Steam. So, what are the favorite flipper bats that people are using? What are the most purchased enhancements? I would put money down that within maybe 6 months or so, we'll start seeing those things become options in Steam. Because
I hope so.
You know what they do. They A/B test the crap out of everything. So that's what they're clearly doing. And I reckon we'll see them in Steam. Yes. So I could definitely, as far as the difficulty of Facecracker of Safecracker goes, I can really sense the difficulty between the Zen single player mode and the advanced mode. It is way harder. Way harder. Like the first time you start the board game in the Zen mode, the regular, it's like the shortest path to the vault.
Yeah, how many times I've gotten the long path while playing in arcade mode?
Oh,
most of the time.
Most of the time, like the full 360 movement around the vault. Yeah, you're not getting any tokens at all. No. In that version of the mode. And like I made the silly mistake of doing Assault on the Vault in arcade mode. And I quickly realized that's a waste of tokens.
Isn't it though?
Yeah, in like it's clear that the game is really behaving like the game did when I remembered it back in the arcade when it was in time zone here in Brisbane. Like it was just designed to suck the money right out of you and not give you anything in return. That's basically true to life. So
Well, they gave you the tokens, so they want it back. Let's talk about the tokens real quick.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about.
You don't see the token actually eject from the back box, but you sure as hell see it bounce down the glass. It kind of does this warbly roll down.
Yeah, it's got a little wobble to it.
Little wobble to it, and then you basically see like the shadow of a hand over the top, dropping it, and it lands on the apron.
Yeah.
This is way cool because
it is.
If you go into then table view mode and you angle it down to the apron, there you'll see that whatever tokens you've earned there. Almost like how you used to do back in the day.
But you line them up on the lockdown lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got next basically. So there's your tokens. The tokens do not go away even if you exit the game completely, even if you play some other pinball game in Zen. You come back to Safecracker, there's your tokens.
Mm-hmm.
And there they will collect. If you play Assault the Vault, you'll take one token off there. The cool thing is, so how Assault the Vault basically works. Once you've earned one token, the next time you go to play a game of Safecracker, there'll be a DMD screen pop up that basically asks you normal game, Assault the Vault, or reset the tokens. Yeah. So you can imagine the reset the tokens is, if you collect all the tokens, you want to go through that again, then go ahead and just push reset and
you're back to square one.
You're back to square one. Normal, obviously you're playing normal Assault the Vault. You get to play Assault the Vault.
Yeah,
so there was a big concern among people that because there again in Pinball Arcade, people didn't want duplicate tokens. But if you left the game and came back to it, it reset the stack of tokens inside the machine, and you could very easily get duplicates. So getting those final few were like
very
almost as maddening as getting table parts in the mobile app for Zen.
Yes. Yes. But
if you want.
One thing I didn't notice, one thing that surprised me is that everything else in the game state seems to be maintained, like tokens get remembered.
Yeah.
But vault letters don't. So when you go out and you go back in again, your vault letters don't actually stay with the game. And I'm pretty sure that in a regular like production version of Safecracker,
right,
that's part of the RAM. So it will remember how many vault letters are accrued. But it doesn't in this. And I'm surprised because they have pretty good state management in Zen. And that's something that doesn't seem to carry. So, you can't go and get
there's something else for us to possibly put on the
bug list.
Yeah.
Yes. Vault letters don't carry.
Because at the very minimum, they should carry in the arcade mode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been playing the Zen mode. They don't carry in Zen mode.
Right.
I don't think I played arcade mode once. They don't seem to carry.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's talk a little bit, and this is where it gets kind of funny for me. The challenge modes with Safecracker specifically. Because truth be told, Safecracker is in and of itself those three very challenge modes. So, for instance, one ball. The nice thing is Zen starts you off immediately basically in sudden death. They tweaked, went straight into the ROM and said, boom, put them in sudden death.
0 seconds.
That's how you're going to get one ball out of this machine. The suck part is the table is designed to suck as many balls as possible down the drain.
Yeah, because it is relying on time mode.
It's relying on you getting a steady feed of balls being thrown at you. So, imagine starting the game immediately in sudden death and trying to build up some points. It's brutal.
Very difficult.
I spent a solid, I was toying with it enough to get me to the 5-star level so I could unlock one of the wizard bonuses. But then I spent a good solid half an hour to 40 minutes trying to do the one ball challenge. And the highest I got was 8 stars.
I think mine's sitting around 8 or 9 as well. It's so hard.
It's a mess. It is very difficult. Now you go into 5-minute challenge. Well,
Mm,
that's more or less what the game is, just
it
not 5
is.
minutes long, but that's the game. It feeds you as many balls as possible to get the score that you need.
Yeah.
I had one moment where it sounded like I was going into sudden death, but I still had plenty of time left on my timer. But then I wound up hitting some stand-up targets and earning,
And it
you
reset the
know,
sound.
and it reset the time. So I
Mm.
don't know what happens in the game if you run out of time before the 5-minute timer runs out of
Oh,
time.
it just keeps shooting balls out at you. So it overrides
Okay.
the sudden death and it just keeps popping balls out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that mode is kind of like I said, on any of the other machines, it's kind of this novelty of constantly having balls thrown at you. With this
Mm.
machine, it's just kind of like, okay, that's nothing new. And then you have survival mode, which again is the very structure and nature of the table, except for here you're having to earn points in order to continue going on, whereas
Yeah.
normally it'd be hit and drop targets to earn more minutes to keep going on. But it's very strange. It feels almost meta the way that it
They've
works
done
with
them.
these daily challenges. All
It's
I
like a
can,
subset of the standard game mode that they
yeah,
already have in the game.
yeah,
There's a few tricks that I found because I've been playing. I think I've got max on 2 of those goals. Not the one, not
not
the
the one
sudden
ball.
death, not the sudden death. But the trick, of course, is to quickly enter the board game, get tossed out of the board game, and get TNT multi-ball.
Okay.
So that's how you get your points built up. So that's your path to success if you do that mode and you want to get that achievement. The one ball survival, it's sort of the same tactic, but you've got to really be careful.
So I would think that you'd want to get into. Well, I guess getting into the board game, you don't really score that many points in the board game.
No, you don't, and that's a problem.
No.
Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
actually get you closer to your goal of getting the point levels. You've really got to get into a multi-ball.
Okay.
So you got to get into the vault, get multi-ball or TNT multi-ball, or you just don't progress at all in that.
Right.
And then you've got to keep the balls alive
Yeah.
in TNT multi-ball, which is no easy feat because the flippers are short and you can't really trap.
All I know is this is not going to be the fun table on mobile for the daily challenges.
Oh, this is going to be horrible. This is going to suck.
Yeah.
On mobile. Like, you really do need to be able to tilt reliably on this game with that one ball survival. That's basically, at the moment, I can envisage that being an instant reset for 25 tickets and go into them and hope you don't get it again, because it's going to be yuck.
Yeah.
Very yuck.
But okay, so the one other aspect that I wanted to cover that sweeps over all of these that really stood out, and the table that stood out again was with Safecracker. The sound, the audio.
Wow, yeah.
The audio in Safecracker is so much more rich and dynamic.
It's like they've actually remastered the audio.
Yeah, and you go listen to it. You fire up Pinball Arcade, go listen to it, and it sounds like it's coming out of a transistor radio in comparison to this wonderful sound system that's got a bass, hooked up to it.
Yeah. Do you know why though? Because I know exactly why.
Oh, why?
Well, in TPA, when Norm was doing the sounds, he originally was extracting sounds directly from the ROM, but then he switched to microphones in front of the speakers. So that's why you're hearing tinny sounds, because he was picking up the sounds from the speakers of the game. Yeah, because for some reason he felt it was better quality, which is rubbish. It's not.
Because comparing Theater of Magic, there's plenty of bass in Theater of Magic in Pinball Arcade.
Yeah. Because that's when he was doing direct ROM extraction of the sounds.
Okay.
So he wasn't doing it through speakers, but then obviously I think he found it too challenging to do it. And this is my basically what I remember him talking about it. And he had a tool that allowed him to play the sounds back directly from the game, but he just set up mics in front of the speakers, and like those speakers are crap on pinball machines. Let's be honest, they're the lowest, cheapest part of the bill of materials.
Yes,
that you can get. So that's why the sound in Zen sounds so much better, because they've clearly got a way to tap into the ROM directly. In fact, I think they're actually
almost
directly.
Sounds like they've isolated tracks.
Yeah, they I think
Like
they
the
probably
speech
have.
call outs from the music. It almost sounds like they've been isolated and then reassembled as it goes, because there's a punch to them and they're crystal clear.
Well, this is what they sound like when they're directly emulated. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like that is the sound you get. And I will note that in the enhanced modes, you do get different sound effects. So there are you'll get stereophonic sound effects that were monotonic in the game, and that makes a rather large difference to the soundscape of the game. And it's the reason why I don't play in regular mode. So if you're a bit of a sound audiophile, you put your headphones on, and you will notice the difference, a stark difference, immediately.
And then on top of all of that is just their mechanical sounds. Their mechanical sounds are miles better. Yeah. And that's where I was like, okay, am I being impressed by the sound because of that stuff? Or am I being impressed with the emulation of the sound that they've done? And there's, if you stop flipping and you don't have the ball going into the pop bumpers and you're just listening to the music and the call outs, that's when you go, oh, okay, that's what I'm hearing. But man, yeah. And see, I normally don't play with headphones. I normally just play with my speakers, and I normally have the speakers on relatively low volume. So this time specifically, I did put on my headphones, and that's where I was just like, oh my God, this is a world of difference.
Yeah. Well, this setup that you see me, if you're watching YouTube at the moment, with the headphones on and me standing here, this is how I actually play Zen, because I've got the headphones all plugged into the microphone. It's like a USB mic with a pass-through audio. So I just have this set up like my rig all the time. So whenever I play, I always have to play with headphones on.
Okay.
So yeah, I get a very consistent audio experience across all the Steam titles I play. And I will say this, like, in summary, I've forgotten just how much better it is to play on Steam than it is on mobile. Like, it is, like playing these games with a controller on a big screen without any of the stupid IOP rubbish getting in your way. It is just a delight. It is a delight in comparison to mobile.
I was playing these using the micro cab there and having a blast.
Oh, it would have been amazing. It would have been amazing with the micro cab. Yeah. So there really is, like, I'm sure Chris would back me up on this saying, but if you're going to be playing Zen regularly, ditch the mobile and get a PC. It's really the only way you should be experiencing it.
Yeah. Let the mobile version be the I'm bored.
Waster.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. What do I want to do? Let's play some pinball, but don't let that be your sole experience.
I know that's a really rough thing to say for folks who just don't have the ability to have PC gaming, and I was in that camp for a long time. So if you're listening and you're stuck on Android mobile, it really sucks that you have that experience, because it gets in the way of just enjoying these games.
Well, at the minimum, then go ahead and get a console,
or spend the money and just buy the games outright so you can play them, or just get them all to 2-star, I guess, and just forget about the IAP stuff. But you're really gonna want the enhanced modes, and probably the enhanced, like the audio quality I would imagine won't be different across mobile. Right. They will just have the same sound package. So, I would be upgrading. If you're going for level 3, save your Smurf fairies and upgrade.
I'm saying for like people that are fully ensconced in the world of Apple, the Apple version of Zen is not the same experience that we're getting. It's fairly close, but there's some aspects missing. So what I'm saying is, if you want the big screen experience with everything, and you don't want to then buy a PC because you're already in the Apple world, that's where it's, hey, get yourself a Switch, get yourself a PS4 or an Xbox One, and play it that way. The only bummer is you'll get the edited or the censored version. So on Champion Pub, you'll be getting green beer for some reason.
Green beer.
That's what the image that I saw was. It was in the mug. It was some green liquid.
It must be lime cordial. They must be drinking. Yeah, lime cordial. That's what they're drinking.
Right.
Wow.
So as I was waiting for us to be able to play with these, I for some reason, got an itch to go fire up FX2 and play Super League. And part of this was because of what Thomas Crofts had said in one of the past interviews that we did, where he said one of their tables that can be turned into a real machine, and he said Aliens, and then he said Super League. And I was like, I gotta revisit Super League and see what that is. I'll be damned if he ain't correct. That thing could be translated immediately.
Oh, yeah.
There is nothing in the enhancements that
add any sort of gameplay.
Yeah, they don't affect the ball. There's no magic ramps. There's no magic launching. There's nothing. Every single aspect of that thing could be translated into a physical machine. Even the up in the goal area,
the oscillating targets
that are, those could mechanically drop down, because it's just a vertical 3 lanes of targets there that are rotating.
So they replace them with the set of drop targets, basically.
Yeah,
But like the bill of materials would be ridiculous on it. Like it would be a $15,000 pinball machine, probably for the pro version. But yeah, you could do it.
Maybe I don't know. It's possible.
Oh, no, it would be.
But I had a blast revisiting that table. I was just like, oh my god, this thing is so much fun. We desperately needed to get it into FX3 because lighting on it is not that great.
No.
The inserts, the lighting on the inserts is not dynamic at all. The physics would be better with the new FX3 physics that got applied to all the Zen tables. Now, I'm not talking about the Williams physics. These are just the regular Zen physics that got upgraded. It's a fun table. And
it's good.
As I was playing it, I was just like, dang, it sucks that I can't. There's no setting up a tournament with this, because I would love to play a tournament with it.
It would be fun. It would be great.
Honestly, my tournament, if there was a way to set it up on that, it would be less about what is your total points, like the big points, and more about how many goals did you score and how many teams did you defeat. That's the tournament that I want.
Yes.
It is also the quintessential the ball never drains table.
Oh yeah, it just keeps going. So it'd be one ball.
A very long time. So, so I did that, and then I was like, well, while we're here, let's check out South Park again. And I started playing the South Park tables again. I was just like, oh my god, these are so much fun, and the humor on these are so great. And I really, really hope that Zen is able to acquire that license again. I know circumstances under which they lost the license, and it wasn't. It's nothing that's insurmountable. It was just a series of events that
some other company has got the rights now, and
So anyway, that made me think. Okay, once we get Super League, we're starting the Let's Get South Park back in campaign.
Because Super League doesn't even have any licensing in it; it's devoid. Like the vanilla version of it is.
The vanilla version. My only question is, you are playing like on the DMD. It'll say the name of the team that you're playing against. So we'll say like AC Milan.
Festered.
Those are going to be festered. I mean, it's not a difficult table for them to change. To bring it back over. So I really hope that the only reason why they haven't yet is they're waiting for World Cup or something like that.
And then they'll bring it back to launch it.
Just to time it with the season, but. So anyway, I did that. I played South Park, and then I was like, okay, let's look at the other two that didn't get brought over, which are Missplosion Man and Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh, yeah. I've never played Plants.
Plants vs. Zombies, honestly, is kind of an okay, whatever table. Just me, I just popping it in and playing for a little bit. I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever. It'd be nice if they were able to bring it back, but it certainly wasn't amazing. Like, I wasn't going, oh, I so miss this. It was just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Which is probably a good indication it doesn't need to be back in, really. No.
Missplosion Man. So I kind of decided to, after playing that, to dig a little bit. Missplosion Man is crazy. It's kind of nuts. It kind of can get annoying. But it's also a rather interesting table to bash around on. I would like to see that in FX3. I looked at it. So it was a platformer game on Xbox Live.
Oh,
And
was it?
it
Okay.
was exclusive to Xbox Live.
Right.
So they had bought the games company that had made it, which was I want to say Magic Pixel because I think Pixel was in their name. I can't remember what the name of the company was, but anyway, that's why it didn't get basically ported over,
Transferred
I
over.
imagine, to FX3 because it was still Microsoft. But then I did some digging around, and lo and behold, the game just came out on the Nintendo Switch
Oh,
because Microsoft sold the company off and they're on their own again.
right.
But that happened back in 2015. The
Oh,
game came out as a platformer in 2011. So I'm
right.
very confused as to why maybe Nintendo got an exclusive on it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Or maybe it just was never that popular, and so they've figured out whatever, we
Well,
don't want to pay the
that's
license on
probably
it.
it. Yeah, I reckon
Um,
that's probably more like the answer you're looking for there. It's not really
maybe.
that popular.
But then again, who knows? Maybe if the popularity picks up on Nintendo Switch, then maybe they'll want
It
to put it
might
back in.
get a it might get a shot of popularity to the arm again. Who knows?
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping that we haven't seen the last of these tables, but like I said, for those last two with Plants vs Zombies and Explosion Man, I
You could take or
wouldn't.
leave him.
Yeah, it is what it is. So that got me then going. You know what? I never really did. I never looked at these things in 3D on my PS3
Oh yeah,
because by the time I got my TV, I was fully transferred over to PC
right. Yeah.
for all my pinball gaming. And I remember that I tried them out. Mainly, I tried it out in Pinball Arcade, and the
Mm.
3D in Pinball Arcade is so horrible. It
Oh really?
it hurts. It
Oh
literally hurts when it first. And this is really going down the rabbit hole of 3D at home, but 3D, obviously, your lens, the polarized lens, one is vertical, one is horizontal,
yes.
essentially what's happening. And then
Yeah.
you're getting the image fired
Yeah.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
So, and the only reason why you specifically know that is PlayStation was doing a thing for a while where if you had the PlayStation TV,
Hmm.
two people could be playing the game, like say Madden, and
Hmm.
seeing completely different screens, so long as you were wearing the 3D glasses.
Ah, yes,
Because
yes.
they would send only one image to one person and one image to the other person, and so you could
Oh, they're
then
watching the same screen but seeing
they're watching
completely
the same
different
screen,
footage.
seeing two completely different things. So in
That's
games where you're
insane.
selecting plays and stuff, the other person would never see it. It was like, hey, that's genius. That's
That's
really
awesome.
brilliant that you did that. And it was a little because they were active shutter glasses.
Oh,
And
right.
so
Okay.
it just told which glass, what time to fire on and off,
Open. Yeah.
and open and close. And so that's why they got that kind of thing going on.
That's incredible. That's an incredible bit of user experience right
Oh
there,
yeah,
isn't it?
it is
Wow.
pretty cool. Pretty cool. So mine are though passive glasses. So
Yeah.
there's none of that. It's a polarized lens.
Hmm.
Well, when you first fire up Pinball Arcade in 3D, one of the lenses is completely just black
Oh, okay.
for some reason. It's just you're not seeing, all of a sudden
Anything.
it feels like you're only using one eye, and then it
Oh,
goes to another menu and something's popping out at you, but it's blurry because they use this major convergence that you practically have to cross your eyes. It's
oh.
unnatural. When you first start it up, you literally go, oh, okay, and you kind of cross your eyes to get the 3D to work, and then your eyes just adjust and stay in that
Well, so
configuration.
you can't just focus your eyes. You've got to like unfocus your eyes.
Yes.
Oh, that
Yes.
is just
Yes.
horrible.
It's horrible. And then when you actually get a table up and in 3D, it looks like it's a bowling alley lane. It is
Oh,
miles long. It just looks bad. It's not at all what they did for the Stern VR
right.
experience. It's terrible. To me, it's essentially somebody didn't have a 3D TV at
And they
Farsight
just
when
gets it.
they just guessed because it clearly never went through any kind of quality.
Any sort of testing.
No.
Yeah.
Zen, on the other hand, is one of the best 3D experiences people
Oh, yeah.
rave about it in terms of the pinball. Menus are crisp, everything is beautiful, it's very dimensional.
Yeah.
And I think I only have about 20 tables on PS3. I know I've got like 8. Well, I've got like the original 8 Zen originals, and then I've got a handful of marble tables and stuff. So anyway, I started bashing around on the. It's weird because you play the game differently. Like,
yeah.
I was doing different shots than I normally do, or reacting differently than I normally do, and it looks way cool, and it almost made me go, well, maybe I should buy some of these tables for the PS3. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm really going to or not, but dang, they look good. Unfortunately, because since the license loss, Super League and South Park are no longer available for purchase in there. And I was like, I really wanted to see what Super League looked like. But and I emailed Mel about the 3D, and obviously he said, well, because the 3D, they don't even manufacture 3D TVs for North America anymore. There's no sense in them doing it. Promoting that. They did use what they learned with that and applied it to the VR experience. What I don't understand, other than creating the whole 3D environment that they do in that, but every single one of those tables was available in 3D. So that portion of the work is already done. But he said that they had at Zen a vertical cabinet with a 3D monitor. And he says it's hands down the best 3D experience
he's ever had.
He's had, playing their tables.
So wow, which is kind of amazing.
Cool. But again, there's no 3D monitors to purchase, at least not in North America. I don't know how it is around the world.
Well, I think it's probably the same, because the same models get shipped all over the world, just with the Hertz.
No, because North America specifically, the movie studios decided that they wanted to promote 4K discs. And once they start promoting 4K discs, they stopped releasing 3D on disc. Well, if you don't have any content for the TV, then there's no sense in selling the TV. Thanks, guys.
I don't think we have any 3D TVs. Like I go down to Costco and I look down the row, and it's 4K, 4K, 4K everywhere. And I don't think there's any 3D.
Because this goes into me trying to find 3D discs. I have to purchase them from other countries now. I have to basically get them from the UK. But I believe Australia still is getting discs.
Okay. Well, maybe we do have models of TV that do. Unfortunately, or maybe we have it built in. We might have it built into the actual firmware. Because I'd imagine if you've got like an LG TV, a 50-inch LG TV, they would just change the firmware in the screen, because it's not like the screen couldn't do it.
No,
right? Like, it's especially a 4K screen. It'd be
4K 65-inch 3D TV.
Yeah. So it'd be fine.
It's passive glasses. So it's, again, not like
active
you have to have a shutter. You can use the glasses that you got at the movie theater, and I have a whole stack of them, as opposed to also my clip-ons that I do use normally. But the ones that worked in the movie theater, they work at home also.
Oh, right. Okay. So, I actually, the monitor that I've got here is an LG Cinema 3D. And I remember playing something 3D. I think it was way back when Zen accidentally put 3D into Zen FX2 on mobile. And I was able to plug it in through HDMI, because my Shield tablet had that capability, or my Transformer tablet did. And I was able to play 3D from my tablet on it, and it was incredible. And then I made the mistake of telling them, and they took it out. So,
thanks, Jared.
Boo me. I don't think anyone really realized you could do it. But anyhow, I did. And so I think I've since got rid of the passive glasses, but I wonder if Zen FX 3 would actually offer it, or whether they've actually got it coded in on PC, on Steam. I don't know either.
It'd be if they did, then I might try and figure out a way of getting it on a monitor, a computer monitor, but I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be, well, if they already got FX2,
could fudge the image how it needs to be.
Yeah.
You would just tell the monitor, here's the signal that you're getting, and that would be the signal.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I've got the glasses anymore. I think I've got rid of them a long time ago, because, well, I rarely did anything 3D. So yeah.
Me, I just watched a movie last night in 3D. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
But I did want to just kind of say, hey, folks, if you haven't dusted off your FX2 in a while, do so.
Give it a crack.
Throw in Super League. It's fantastic, and let's get that campaign going right alongside the Cactus King Continued campaign. So those are two bugaboos that we're going to be. We need to just lob at Zen right now.
Yeah, be the noisy, annoying community that they know and love.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we've reached the part of the show where my wife has told me if I were a listener, I'd just shut them off because we're going to tell you about all of our socials and things like go to Redbubble and buy a t-shirt. Just look for BlahCade, and you too can own a wonderful BlahCade Pinball Podcast t-shirt. Show your love. Have people look at you funny. All that kind of jazz. Or better yet, if you're going to a pinball tournament of any sort or an expo, then you get to wear that, and people are like, hey, I know that, as what happened to me.
Yeah, that's right. You could be famous at the show.
Exactly. So again, redbubble.com and search BlahCade. The main thing that you should always be doing, if you haven't done so already, is follow the show on Twitter. It is at BlahCade. There you will find when we're recording these shows like here, because I always announce it and say, hey, it's over on YouTube. Go check it out. As well as we pass along any information that Zen has posted, news notices, all that kind of jazz. Keep you up on top of things. Then, of course, since you're doing that, why not go ahead and follow Jared and myself? Jared is at Jared Morgs. I am at Shut Your Traps. If you feel the need, you may drop us an email. Sometimes people do this. I have a few people that have. Their email is blahblahblahcade@gmail.com. And, of course, for past episodes, show notes, web links that we talk about, go visit our website. It is blahcadepinball.com/episodes.
Yes.
We really should have something else to, talk about after this particular moment so people don't turn us off. But
well, what I need to do is start, doing what I've been threatening to do for ages and make little drops that I can just sort of scatter throughout the show so people get all the information ad hoc throughout the show and we don't have to do it at the end.
Or you'd be like me and you'd hear one of those fire up and you're like, 15-second scan forward. Thank you.
Well, yes. And that's their prerogative to do that. Essentially, they could fast forward 5 times at the end, or they could fast forward 15 seconds at a time during the show.
I highly recommend listening to us at 2 times speed because we're just that much funnier.
Well, maybe 2 times speed for you, but I would be unintelligible. At 2 times speed because I'm an Australian and we speak fast.
Why do you think it's funnier?
Yeah, it's amusing, but you won't be able to understand me. Like I'll sound like a chipmunk.
Well, me laughing at myself definitely does sound like a chipmunk when it goes through that. Try it out, folks. Put it on 2 times speed right now, and you'll hear this kind of laugh, and then you'd hear the kind of laugh. And in 2 times speed, it should be like unintelligible. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, enough of that stuff. Like I said, next week we'll be talking probably mostly about the mobile app.
Theoretically. Assume.
Yeah.
If there is a beta on that, I don't even know.
Well, no, it should be coming out day and date with this.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
We should have full access to it. So, program notes subject to change, but there you go.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. All right, folks. We really appreciate you listening to us, watching us on YouTube, and just giving us the feedback that you do, because we value the feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for interacting with us. We like it.
We like it. All right. Until next time. Oh, quick shout out real quick. Crow Pinball probably is going to be streaming some of this pinball action before Tuesday, and Pinball is 45B on his Twitch channel. He's saying that he's probably going to be streaming on Sunday, probably around the 3 o'clock Eastern, I'm guessing, time frame. But anyway, go ahead right now, go over to Twitch and follow Pinball Wiz 45B. That way you know when his is going on. Crow, go over to YouTube and subscribe to his channel. That way you can see this stuff in action. Basically all the stuff that we're talking about, but with visuals. And no doubt that Spacey's Arcade will probably also be doing something in the very near future.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
Lots of ways for you to experience these if you're not going to go out and buy immediately. So.
Yeah, or if you're on mobile.
We will talk to you all again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.